Hello and welcome everyone to Season 2 of the Pitstop UK Maniac GT3 Championship. This season is sponsored by Gran Turismo Wiki, and here we have boss of Gran Turismo with us, commentating on round with me.
Yes, sir. I'm really looking forward to this season. If last season was any indication, I think this is going to be really exciting. We've got quite honestly one of the best tracks in the world to start off the season, and we got some what looks to be some wet weather. Yeah, the famous Nurburgring starting off the season. It's a not the longest track in the world, but it's intense. It's got a lot of passing zones. It's got a beautiful flow that's challenging and fun for the drivers. So I'm quite looking forward to it. How about you?
Yes, I completely agree. It's a great track. I was actually really happy when F1 returned to the track yet last year. Unfortunately, it was just one-off, but now we are racing on the track, and it does look like it's gonna be a wet race. Maybe we'll see some dry weather running, but maybe we won't. So I'm very
Yeah,
curious to see how all the drivers will cope. This season we do have some more drivers than last season. At the moment there are 35 people connected, and let's just hope we have a good race with all those.
absolutely. And um, of course, it's we're not completely sure because the weather has been kind of off and on showers throughout the day so far. So it's going to be also interesting to see which way the weather goes. Of course, we're looking at Simon Bauer right now. He's been fast. Well, last year he was fast in virtually any conditions. That's how he actually won the championship, and he also won the season opener last year. But that's at Monza. Right now he sits well. Right now he's 11th, but that's because he hasn't set a time yet.
Yes, we are just starting
But
out, of course, but yes, as you're saying, Simon Bauer, driver we are following at the moment, won the championship last year, uh, but with a lot more new drivers and a lot more new drivers as well. I think he will have to fight for a return to that top step at the championship.
yes, sir. That's the theory, at least, because we do have a lot of unknown quantities in this season's Pitstop UK Maniac GT3 Championship. So who knows? We might see another Eric Neath step up and challenge uh, Simon Bauer for P1 in the championship.
I believe Neath is actually not driving this year, Greg. But
Oh yeah,
at the moment we see the drivers getting some space to go for some good quick laps.
well, I was speaking more metaphorically. You know, you might see another one of those guys, one of those just alien type, at just extremely fast drivers in any situation. We might see one of those challenge Bauer for the championship. We'll have to see, though.
I totally agree. We will have to see what we're able to do. Uh, Especially right here in the wet conditions to start off the season. Might shake up the running order, so yeah. I believe that the first car who will cross the line, the 732 of 732 of Ryan Renoir, the chicane at the end of the lap, and then rounding the final corner. Let's see what the first time on the board will be. Coming across
And
the
look,
line in just a second. And it is a 201.2, and Jimmy Holm right behind him goes quicker right off the bat. Some quick times already. Let's see, next across the line it's the 888. and he crosses the line. A 201.7. That is Fog, the Honda.
And so right off the bat, we have, by my count, unless I'm mistaken, 5 fresh new faces already in the top 5 for qualifying. That is, that's an indicator of what the previous season's fastest runners are up against already. That is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, you are completely correct. There are a lot more signups this year. A lot of returning people, but definitely a lot of new faces. So everyone is putting in their first lap right now, a lot of different times, but I'm sure everyone will close in to the end of the session. At the moment, though, I see Renault improving by half a second so far, and coming up towards the final chicane.
Half a second gain. Quite that's quite a big gain
So
here at
far,
the.
yes, yeah. He has to keep it together though. Coming around the final corner now. Can he
And
go a sub 201?
that's a deceptive final corner. That's always one of the more challenging corners for me in any game that I play. Yes, he goes P1 with a 2 minute .657 and an impressive lap.
It's a very good lap for sure. He's also almost about to cross the line, and he goes up to P3. Let's see,
And so far,
further down the field, I see here improving by quite a lot. I'm very curious to see what he will be able to do. But there are also still a lot of drivers who have not put in time yet.
so far your top 10 separated by less than 2 seconds, which is quite a close gap, especially in the rain. It is difficult and unpredictable as a race car can be in these conditions.
Yes, you're exactly right. But I think the qualifying session will close and everything together. So I'm very curious to see how everything will play out. Still more than halfway to go though.
Absolutely.
But after qualifying, of course, we are up for a 90-minute race here at the Nürburgring with 1 mandatory pit stop for tires.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and actually, I was actually looking at the rules for this race, and um, in the useful stuff, I think it was in the useful stuff channel we have here on the server. That actually reminds me, the format of this race actually reminds me quite a bit of an F1 race because we do have the mandatory tire change, so we go the mandatory pit stop, but also an hour and a half fueling allowed, which they don't allow in F1. Do you, would you expect this to kind of almost feel like an F1 race as far as like level of intensity goes throughout the race?
Well, I hope it'll be even more intense, even though today's F1 race might be difficult to top. Fog, by the way, goes up to P2 with about a tenth slower than P1. Yeah, with the amount of cars we have on track at the moment, I do think we'll be in for a good race. Battles
That's
up and
right.
down the field for sure.
Absolutely. That's the thing about the Nürburgring, about this layout specifically. It does engender close battles because you've got these, you know, flowing fast corners, but you've also got, you know, a couple of really big, in fact, actually 3 really big breaking points that allow drivers to draw alongside each other, make Dan overtakes and all that fun stuff.
For
And
sure,
with
yeah.
so many, and with so many cars on the track, we're going to see quite a few of those. Now, I'm curious as to whether Falk, who is, by the way, a rookie, if he can close that 1/10 of a second gap, he's got 10 minutes to do it. He's got plenty of time. He's really just got to settle into a rhythm and hope Renoir doesn't gain any more time. It would be really impressive to break into the 159s here in these conditions at this track.
I think though, Greg, that we'll see everyone rapidly towards the end of this session because it looks like it's raining less and keep on drying up, I think.
That's very interesting. That's a good point. As the
So
track gets faster,
it
as the
looks like
track
that's
gets
the case,
faster,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So as the track gets drier, it'll get faster. And the question then becomes actually, will these wet weather setups that these drivers are using, will they translate well into the drive? That's why I'm curious to
Uh,
see.
yes, they usually will. It's usually a bit more understeery, but luckily this game does allow you to load up a new setup once you go towards the race. But I don't think it will dry up in the qualifying sessions. I don't have to change setup now.
Very interesting. Watch Ryan Leach, who was one of the faster drivers, at least in the last couple of rounds last year, as we watch him take his Aston Martin around the track, I believe, of the Michael Schumacher S. And you know what? Actually, why don't we go on board for a lap with someone here so we can actually see just how intense and just really fun of a track this is. We're going on board with Ryan Leach, who I just mentioned. Why don't you take us around the lap here?
Okay, yeah. So here in the wet, we'll break well before the 100-meter board, and turn one has quite a big drop here, and then a climb towards turn two. The Mercedes arena here. This corner is tricky in the dry, let alone wet. Even. Try to stay off the curbs here, but line it up for the right-hander to get a best possible exit. And a short straight, left-hander. Also a very tricky corner, very prone to understeer, but this right-hander deceptively tight. But Leacher going through it very nicely, up to the Dunlop curve, hairpin at the bottom of the track. Difficult corner for sure. Need to be patient on throttle. Leacher does it very well. Up to the Schumacher S's. Tricky corner in the wet. You'll have to maintain your speed, but be careful you don't go too quickly. And be careful of the curbs. Here another left-right combination. So deceptively difficult. This right-hander here creates a lot of understeer. But then we go towards the final chicane. Right-hander's ground. Barely a corner days. And then through the chicane. It's a really quick part of the track. You have to nail the line to lap time. And then the final corner. Also need to be very patient on the throttle. And let's see what Leach does for a time. A very good time of 201.1. He does not gain a position here. It's his quick lap. That is some great stuff from Leach there.
And what a wonderful lap to show us exactly how to drive the Nürburgring. A couple of things that have always stood out to me about this track. Number one, that first corner is just so sharp. It's really difficult for me to find the line through there. And the stadium, the beginning of this track, uh, the beginning of this track, just in general, is very difficult. And for instance, with the Mercedes-Benz Arena, the final corner, especially where you have to get off the throttle. Simon Bauer actually told me this. Oh, we've got a Lambo. Almost. What a save. What a save.
I think
By
Barthel here got on
Barthel.
the AstroTurf and kicked out his rear. He saved it very well.
Yeah, that was, especially in the rain, that thing, it looked like he was taking it down to the local dirt track and running a late model modified race of how sideways he entered that corner. But that actually goes to show why I was saying, especially the Mercedes-Benz Arena, especially that final corner before you take the right to exit the arena, you have to go out so wide and get such a particular angle under that corner that you have to let off. Sonnenbauer actually told me that you have to go about, you have to let off for about half that corner, even these hybrid GT3 cars, to hit the front of the bike before you can switch over to the right-hander to leave the arena. Absolutely in a huge section of track. In fact, another thing that stands out to me about the Nürburgring GP layout is it's deceptive in so many places. First of all, that right corner that right-hander that you just said was deceptive, but also the final chicane that on approach seems maybe a little looser than it actually is.
Yeah, that final chicane is definitely a very difficult corner. You want to cut as much of the curbs as you can there, but it doesn't actually allow you to. So you need to nail the line, or you'll have some big trouble at that corner. At the moment, Renault and Fach are not improving. Jimmy Holm has been able to get up to P3 with a time about 0.2 slower than P1, and Barthel has been able to get up to P4 with also a time below the 2 minute and 1 second mark. But so far, qualifying is closing up very well, bringing in some very good times.
Barthel, sorry to interrupt, but Barthel just 5.51 seconds off the lead. That's nothing. That's a bad exit out of a corner. That's missing your braking zone slightly. That's what's in it for the top three right now.
Yeah, just a couple tenths and a couple tenths that could. Oh, what's that? That's 2 car lengths. So yeah, they are all very close together.
Of course, with the variable conditions this week, and this could all flip on its head during the race. We'll have to see. A lot of unknown quantities as far as drivers, but a lot of rookies who are so far proving to be absolute speed demons out there.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't call a lot of these people rookies, but they are new faces.
They haven't competed in this championship before.
That is correct, but that's not usually the what I mean with rookies, but it's
Yeah.
same difference.
And so far, it looks like Flamger is one of the highest. Unless we can scroll up, it certainly looks like he's maybe one of the highest ranked returning faces. Bryce is up there too in the top 10 in ninth.
Yeah, Weezer is
We
up to
are
P9.
fifth.
Weezer finished P2 in the championship in season 1. So returning here with trying to get that P1 spot, of course. At the moment he's in P9 qualifying. Not be completely not be going into the pits. But
Yep.
we're coming up to the end of qualifying here. Everyone who will cross the line before the end of qualifying will be able to finish their lap. Um, Everyone else will have to return to the pits.
So qualifying is over. It's the last lap of the qualifying session. If you want to get in, a really quick full time, you got to do it now. Renoir so far almost breaking into the 159 to the very strong 2 minutes point 021. Falk is way down there, comparatively speaking, anyway. 0.738 seconds off Renoir.
Yeah, Renoir is looking
Home.
very strong in that Mercedes here. So
Yeah.
far, I don't see anyone able to match him. There are a lot of people improving throughout the field, but great, not enough. Holzer here in the Bentley, at the moment down in P28. See if he will be able to improve a bit further. Let's see, almost everyone has crossed the line now, so very shortly. Let's see, Holzer does not improve on this lap. It looks like the conditions maybe have not improved that much, because Falk also has not improved just yet, but he still has one corner to. He actually cancels his lap, and that was qualifying.
So there's your lineup. Renoir out of nowhere, just decimating his pole lap. 0.738 seconds ahead of second place. An absolutely remarkable start to his season so far. There's your lineup. There's your starting lineup. We have quite the field here. It's
I'll
shaped.
run us through the lineup. So in P1 we have Renoir, of course, and then in P2 we have uh, Samir Falk in the Triple Eight Honda, and then in P3 we have Jimmy Holm in the McLaren. P4 is Barthel in the Lamborghini, and his teammate 6. Then we have Leach in P5, managed to improve quite a bit. And then Barnett and Siga both in Ferrari in P7 and 8. Weezer in P9, and then Filippi also in a Ferrari, rounding out the top 10.
So with this many GT3 cars attacking that first corner, this is going to be an absolutely intense first lap, and it should also be an intense race. This is a perfect way to start off the season because this is one of the most skill-based tracks that's still in active use today. It's really a blast, and it really does. Just like it's Big Brother, the Nordschleife. It does have a way of separating the men from the boys.
Yeah, that is 100% correct. So the race will start in just under a minute. So bear with us. Actually, the formation lap will start then. So uh, talk you through it all. So stick with us. The race is 90 minutes long, so plenty of time for a lot of stuff to happen.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
Okay, formation lap is underway in just a second. Let's go on board with our our pole sitter, Ryan Renoir.
Who has to be at least a little nervous about what's going to happen with this tight turn one and all these cars behind him, trying to get the best start they can. I would imagine.
Yeah, I think the run to up to turn one is not that long, so I think everyone will be able to get through turn one reasonably safely. But if a lot of carnage is gonna happen, it'll be in the Mercedes arena. But let's hope nothing bad will happen though. Let's hope we'll have a clean start to this race. Even all the way up here in the top 20 with Simon Bauer, champion from last season. New car for him, not a great start so far, but I think he'll be able to fight his way back through the field a little bit. Of course, the race starting in the dry right now. It does look like in about 30 minutes it will start raining, so a big twist coming.
And we still have a couple of drivers, at least I think, maybe one or two in the pits. They plan on starting from the pits.
That can happen if someone forgets to hit drive at the start. You'll be teleported to the pits. But it is possible that some people just have some problems with something.
Well, that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds for them.
Yes, either they're having some either they're having some connectivity issues, or they just forgot to hit drive. But they will be allowed to leave the pits once everyone has started the race. But I think we're coming up to double file very soon here.
It's this double file start head into a tricky turn one. So you've got this many cars on the track at once. It's quite a big field, and you're, say, in the middle of the pack, or you're closer to the back. What's your strategy for starting this race with such a tight section in general to start off the lap?
I'd say it's really important to just keep your nose clean. If you lose a couple positions because of it, that's better than crashing out and getting a penalty. But you're crossing final corner now, and the race will get underway very soon. But yeah, I hope everyone will keep their nose clean and give us a good race to watch. If we have to wait for some action until later on, that might be better than crashing out. And we go green. Renoir gets a good start, better than Fach in the Honda, and is able to pull clear of P2 and P3 as well. Like they all get through the pack safely.
Oh, stack up! We got an accident! We got a huge accident! To start off, that's 5, and I saw a couple of other cars go off the bottom of the frame. That's at least, 6, 7 cars already involved in contact to start off this race. That tricky turn one. That was really. And another one, a Mercedes, spun off on the inside on the corners of the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Wow, that was, oh man, that was unfortunate for so many people. As
Parker has actually lost the position to the 777 McLaren. But yeah, that incident in turn 1 looked like someone got onto the grass at the start and just couldn't brake. That was really unfortunate, but quite a big error there.
once you go into the grass, I don't care if it's Grand Drift, I don't care if it's Zero Force or Zero Force the Competizione. With that first corner, if you go off just a little bit, you're not recovering, and you're not going to get anywhere close to an optimal line. You're lucky if you don't spin that first corner.
Yeah, that Porsche there struggled with getting the car slowed down there, but it's a mistake that can happen. Let's see, there is a fight, of course, for P1 at the moment between actually up to P4 even. So it looks like Renoir is able to pull away just a little bit, but it is dry at the moment, so the field looks to be different. The other cars can catch up now and be quicker than Renoir now that it is a dry track.
But if you're Renoir, you are absolutely begging for these 3, 4 cars behind you to get to a fight and run away with it at this point.
Yeah,
Simon Bauer managed to weave his way through the trouble on the first lap and work his way up into 7th place.
Yeah, that's some great stuff from Bauer here. He went from P19 up to P7. That is a great first lap from him. Let's see, there are a lot of fights happening everywhere on track. Here is Muller fighting with Leach. And Leach get touched by Muller. That is incredibly unfortunate. Again.
He gets spun off a little bit, or at least goes off into the gravel trap. And he is, well, the car behind him, that McLaren, going 3 wide. Oh, he gets a little bit of a smack from the Bugatti and a little bit of contact from the McLaren. He's going to come back in front of the Mercedes.
Wow.
Probably
Miller definitely squeezing that Mercedes there.
Yeah. We've got McLaren also off, and Ferrari goes off in front as well.
Eventful first couple laps. I believe that was actually Bauer again. That was off there. So Bauer losing out a lot of positions now.
13th, and now he has to deal with a maniac McLaren trying to overtake him.
Yes, let's see who that actually is. That is Flamger.
Timothy Flamger, a pretty fast driver, versus last season's champion, who so far has not been able to get off to a very good start. But only less than 5 minutes into the race, we'll have to see how things go.
Yeah, so P1 and P2 have been able to make a bit of a gap between P2 and P3. And now Falk has to defend from Barthel with Marcel Wieser right behind. Trying to fight for that final podium position. But they are not that far away from P1 and P2. Let's see what will happen further on in this race.
This could very easily turn into a 4-car battle, as we've got a maniac Ferrari just there on the horizon, just a couple car lengths behind them, and James Barthel almost goes off there, and here we are with Souza and Luis right behind him, about to get into their own fight. What an intense race so far.
Yeah, 100%. It's very intense, but the rain is still to come, so it's all to play for. Holm here is able to get some disconnection from fog. Fight is gonna happen.
A couple of cars already hit. I believe that's the number 17. I think it was the number 17 who just didn't start, so you might get credited with a DNS.
Yes, it's
here.
unfortunate, but not that important. Barthel, you're trying to go around the outside of Fach. Fach is putting his car at the right places at the moment. Wieser and Barnett are trying to follow very closely and trying to get that final position of the Honda there. Further down the field here at a fight for P13. Bakaraba fighting with Katan. Actually, Müller, I believe, right behind them. Yes, about a second between those two drivers. Like there are quite a lot of fights happening at the moment. Fight for P19 with Fredriksson and Sigurd.
That looks like it might soon be turning into a three-way battle. Sigurd tries, he looks to the outside, but is quite able to get there. Maybe just no, not the braking zone. Oh, he goes off! Fredriksson's off! And through Jorazio and almost Sigurd.
Did Fredriksson just make a mistake?
Yeah, I think he got spooked by the car in his mirror and he just right too late and went off.
That can happen. Oh, I think it's starting to rain. Is he making another mistake there?
And I believe that is Schwab coming up on Fredriksson.
And Renault actually has lost the position from Holm. Holm now in P1, but Fox still keeping strong in P3 here.
Renoir has
still
not only
right on his bumper.
Renoir has not only lost the lead, but he's the better part of a second behind now. So something has gone south for him in his race plan. Yeah, I think the track is starting to get a little wetter. Maybe his setup just hasn't really adapted that well to these changeable conditions.
Let's see, Barnett here at the end of that train, fighting for P3. He has quite a big gap towards P7, so he can keep his eyes forward, trying to get those positions in front of him. Let's see, Filippi here, a little bit behind Cleaver, trying to get that position off the other Ferrari. Schwab and Fredriksson here going wheel to wheel. Schwab going past with a very nice textbook. Small touch from Fredriksson, but all is looking okay.
I'll tell you what, that's a pretty remarkable move because it's very easy to take a two to the dump off hairpin and open up the bottom for the other guy.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Swaba just did not have to fight too hard for that move. But, they were fighting very nicely.
So Holter in a battle with Flamager now. Holter and Bentley Flamager. The McLaren behind him. That McLaren was poised and ready to strike because we've actually got another battle ahead of this one. So this is a battle for, what is that, 24th place. Cortez each now jumping up into 24th place. So this is very tight racing. Holzer takes it. A little too deep. Almost capitalizes. Can he get back to the inside?
Also needs to be
Yes!
really careful there.
It's it
He
all.
can be unsighted very quickly, but he does make the move stick. The flankers are probably trying to go follow him, but he has to stick back behind Barthez there. Barthez actually makes a mistake there and has to pull off to the right.
Cortez flies off the track. I was about to say that was a smart move on Cortez's part to let the Bentley through,
Yeah,
but then he
the rain has started here, so it looked like Barthez might have put a wheel onto the AstroTurf and veered off to the right. But everyone has to take it very slow now. Like, I'd see some bitters now. So let's see what our race leader, Jimmy Holm, is doing. He is not coming in just yet. And neither is our P2 man. We have our first bitter there, though. I saw a McLaren coming into the pits there. It was Adrian here coming for his pit stop. He is too early to weather tires. Maybe earlier than some other people would want. It looks like this rain will persist for quite a while, so I feel like into its next couple laps. Weezer here still under pressure from Barnott. Fell back a bit from Barthel now. Barthel, I believe, still very much right on the bumper of Fach. And it looks like Holm in P1 McLaren at the moment able to extend the gap. Renoir.
so it seems that some of these things right now are waiting to see which way the weather goes, see if it maintains to see if it stays where it is right now, or if it gets worse, or if it maybe starts to slowly get a little better.
Ooh, Fach there makes a big mistake. And has to give the position to Barthel there. Fach gets a big bit of oversteer and loses a lot of time there. It's a slot back in behind the Lamborghini. But it's looking more and more treacherous here on track, so I feel like some people are going to pits now as well. But they are not actually pitting.
Two cars are right behind them.
Yeah. So Weezer and Barnett are pitting. The two teammates are pitting.
Yes, sir.
They are one of the first of the top 5, though.
Oh, and here comes Cleaver as well. He's coming in. So we've a sudden wave of pit stops here. Probably far ahead of schedule, I would assume.
Yes, I would say it's ahead of schedule, but in theory you can make it on fuel to the end now. And those tires will definitely last as well. It'll be a difficult task though, so maybe the top 4 here is trying to eke it out to make it easier for them on fuel. But it does look very treacherous out there at the moment, and I really wonder if the top 4 have made the right choice, or if those behind them have made the wrong choice. But we'll just have to wait and see where everything ends up after all the pit stops have taken place. But can't imagine front runners will not pit at all.
I'd imagine it's a bit, short term versus long term. Obviously, nothing is quicker in the short term, but later, if the weather, especially if it continues to get worse, that's going to come and bite them in the butt.
Yeah, we will. I'll keep an eye on the times they are doing. See if going on to wet weather tires is the right call at the moment. But it looks like the top 5 are lapping in the mid 203s, which is not very quick because these conditions look similar to what they had in qualifying, but they're about 3 seconds slower now. As Jimmy Holm and Ryan Renner are both into the pits. Barthel and Fach are not pitting. So that is a very interesting call, and one that I am incredibly interested to see how it will pan out. Barthel here immediately having trouble braking for T1.
So we are now. Oh, I thought we had a caution on the course there for a second, but apparently not. Um, yeah. So this definitely a strategy game at this point. Markel and Home really are putting all their eggs in one basket by uh, having so far not pitted. Oh,
Yeah, it's Katan here has not pitted either, and it's looking very, very treacherous. You can see him struggling, but it's a game of who wants to stay out the longest right now, because if you pit now or have just pitted 1 or 2 laps ago, you might struggle on fuel towards the end. But if you wait about let's say 5-10 minutes, it'll become a lot easier to make it towards the end on this same set of tires. That is, if it stays raining like this. You can see Holzer here behind, having a bit of an easier time in the rain here, but I don't believe Holzer has pitted either.
and
So
you know what?
a great
Go
move
ahead.
from Holzer there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That looked almost easy.
Mm-hmm. One of the interesting things to me about wet weather is these cars, GT3 cars, they're all designed differently as far as weight, engine placement, and stuff like that. So uh, while their performance is balanced, again, against all the other cars in the field, they all become very tricky to drive for different reasons in the wet. The mid-engine cars, the engine is in the middle. So the heaviest part of the car, the two heaviest parts of the car, the driver and the engine, are right in the center. So they're designed to rotate around their middle, which makes them a little bit more nimble in corners, but in the right they get a little bit too nimble, and it's a lot easier to lose control. But with these front engine cars, especially these big, heavy Bentleys, they're a little bit more understeering because they're weight because
That is 100% correct. Yeah. Those front engine cars will have a bit of an easier time. The Aston Martin, though, I believe is at the moment a little bit easier on in the wet. Not a lot of Astons driving in this field at the moment.
I would assume so because Aston's generally, their road cars especially are a little bit more sports oriented towards Bentleys. Bentleys are more luxury, so they come out of the factory lane quite a bit more because they don't have to worry about that about weight savings out of the factory.
Yeah,
And
usually they
these
don't, of
cars,
course, but all these
yeah,
GT3 cars do weigh almost exactly the same.
yeah,
Um,
true.
the Bentley, of course, is quite a bit bigger than most cars, but usually their performance in the wet or versus the dry is more based on driver and setup than it is on the car itself. Because
Well, that's very
you,
interesting.
you can make it a lot easier for yourself if you get the right setup. The thing I am seeing at the moment, though, is that Samir Fah just pitted, I think the last lap, has actually fallen behind Weezer. So Fah has lost out on his pit stop by pitting so late versus Weezer. Um, and Barnard is right behind Fah at the moment, so losing about 1 or 2 positions. And Holm here is still in P4. Is pretty much preliminary P1. And the only person staying out at the moment still is Bolzer, so he's P1 now. Still on his slick tires.
Very interesting. He's 16 seconds behind Bartel. So that's a point you have to make up. He's just going to be more focused on turning laps and just getting what he can out of the car right now without overstepping the boundary.
The thing I am seeing is that I believe Holzer is actually doing sub 2 minute times at the moment still, while most other people are over the 2 minute mark. I know that Holzer is a driver with a gamepad, a controller, and I wonder if that has something to do with it, to be honest. If that's helping him on track at the moment. Be
Well,
really interesting to see that.
at this point, if you drive with a controller in the sim, it's because you're comfortable with the controller, like you're extraordinarily comfortable with the controller. So I would assume that in his specific case, the controller is actually a boom, whereas for most people, um, and myself, for instance, you'd actually rather have a wheel for the greater precision.
Yes, of course, but usually simulators like this have a different handling model. Ooh, Scott's in there makes a mistake, gets
Oh,
collected.
he comes around, he collects the Lexus a little bit. I
That's
hope.
that's a big mistake. Lost 2 positions there and probably has a little bit of damage. But as I was saying, usually sims have a different handling model between wheels and gamepads. So I really wonder if that has something to do with it at the moment. You can see that Holter is the only one still lapping the sub 2 minute. Ryan Renoir though in the Mercedes, second quickest on track right now. A 201.7 on his last lap.
As he goes a little wide on the first corner, just a little bit though, and it's not like that's really going to cost him anything. Weiser is 13 seconds behind him.
Yeah, Renoir has been able to get out a very big gap. Kazan here 1.5 seconds behind Ziege, battling with Sigurd.
And
Is Ziege battling with Sigurd at the moment?
I wonder if that's also partially due to some damage he might have sustained in the contact with the Lexus. I
What do you
mean, that
mean?
was when he spun and when he spun and hit the Lexus.
Ah, yeah.
The
He might be
yeah,
struggling a bit now because of that, even though the Bentley definitely is a tank. It can handle a bit of damage. Unlike, for instance, the Audi, which does struggle a bit more with damage. Even though I don't think there are any Audis this season. No, there are no Audis on track.
I tell you what, the Lexus Sigurd uh, doesn't seem to have suffered that much damage, if any. I mean, he is still quick enough to prove a challenge for this Ferrari, but that's probably because he was struck in the side by Katan's Bentley rather than, one of the corners. As Ziega almost gets the inside on that corner, Sigurd takes a little bit too much curb. Lockhart's getting in
Sigurd
there.
got a bit loose, but out of the exit before the Schumacher S there, but he's able to stay ahead of the Ferrari, actually decently well. I think this battle might go on for quite a while, but Sigurd is looking than Sigurd.
Something that strikes me, you were talking about Now the front engine cars were actually a lot easier to drive in the rain. Um, the we just saw the difference between the Lexus and the Ferrari there. The Lexus was actually able to take quite a bit of curb and get some slightly better lines than the Ferrari, where the Ferrari
I'm
driver
I'm
felt like
unsure
he
if
had.
that's that much carb. It can definitely also be a lot confidence or car setup again. Because you can see Barnard here actually taking a lot of exit curb there, and in theory, exit curb should be the one curb you should definitely stay off. But Barnard able to take some exit curb there, and not having a lot of trouble with it. See Weezer actually behind him. Weezer's losing a couple places, but he's also able to take some curb. Weezer here
He's
now under
still.
attack from the Porsche. Oh, he's actually going to be unlapped from by the Porsche. Yeah, that Porsche is lapped by Weezer.
I think number 29 of Rodriguez, Gabriel Rodriguez. His day is not quite going as he intended. Renoir, I believe, has actually caught hold just a little bit,
Yes,
and
as I said actually at the start, I was that I was curious about wet weather versus dry weather pace, and it looks like Holm is quicker in the dry, but Renoir clearly a bit quicker in the wet here. But still, I'm surprised by the pace of Holzer, still on those slick tires.
really,
Still lapping quicker than anyone else.
clearly he doesn't feel like he has to change to wets yet, and apparently that's working for him. That's not what I would have expected to work.
Yeah, me neither. It's it's something very interesting to see, and I wonder what happened. Well, who knows? Maybe he started on the wets and is now and it was a masterstroke of strategy here.
Quite
Uh,
possibly.
Usually, though, you do not want to start on wets on a dry track because they will overheat and get destroyed within a couple laps on a dry track.
So it can be quite a gamble, but I think he might have looked at what was going on during the qualifying and practice and decide, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go on the west because the other two
Wow,
sessions have been pretty soaked.
Renoir
As
getting
Renoir,
alongside, almost taking P2 again. Renoir's looking strong here. Does have to back out here, and Home can stay ahead.
let's keep an eye on this. This could potentially be pretty important. I feel like Renoir gets a slightly better run through the chicane, goes
Oh,
outside, on
almost.
defends the inside.
That would have been a great move if he was able to pull it off, but he is very close still, so I think he will probably launch it up to the inside. Maybe he is just a bit too far away though. Yes, he's tucked back in behind.
Yeah, thinks about it, can't quite get done now. Yeah, it would have been very impressive because, especially in, especially in the wet, there's really only one line through that corner, final corner, and Renoir is right now breathing down and the depth of that is wearing a home, a fellow rookie who is in second and close to running away from it, quite possibly on a gamble in first. Over half a minute ahead. He is just checked out
Yeah, it's
so
astounding
far.
how quickly Holzer has been able to extend that gap. But I'm definitely going to be asking him after the race, after the broadcast has ended, how he was able to go so quick, and maybe we can lighten the audience at the next round. But at the moment, Renoir here still trying to get that P2 position off of Home. Renoir is looking stronger now. not able to get past. There are a lot of battles happening on track. I believe there is one. Moscardini and Filippi. Filippi right behind the Porsche. Not able to go for a move just yet, but very, very quickly.
Of course, it's one thing to catch someone; it's another thing entirely to pass them, especially when you've got very few options comparatively on a wet track.
I think actually like you have more options in the wet sometimes. In the wet you can sometimes be a bit more creative. Yeah, especially at a track like this, that can be possible.
It's obvious to me that Felipe is faster right now, but Moscardini doing a very good job of defending as we head into the chicane here.
Difficult place to overtake that chicane, and it's difficult to stay behind because you cannot see your reference. But Felipe here staying behind very well, and I think maybe get a good enough run out of the final corner. Porsche is of course notoriously weaker on the straights than some other cars, but definitely able to stay ahead here.
Moscardini seems a lot better on the brakes too. So far, he's gonna think about the outside of the Porsche. Might make it work. For now, he's just gonna sit there and sulk behind the Porsche. Hopefully, he doesn't get impatient and try to use the chrome horn, as we call it over here in the US.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely does just have to wait a bit for that overtake to be possible. Let's catch up with our battle for the podium again. We're still behind and they are now coming up to lap some of cars.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Laps of traffic always throws a wrench into it, doesn't it?
Yes, you can see they're coming up to lap Flamker and Hurst. Flamker moving up out of the way very nicely there. But that can make a battle definitely fizzle out a bit. But sometimes as the driver behind you might have to, or the driver in front actually, might just have to make use of that traffic and stay ahead or get ahead.
We had a caution on the course somewhere just now. I saw the green lines side race turn yellow just for a second. So
yeah, someone had spun in the Mercedes arena. He has gotten underway again. Weezer here trying to fight gain a position. Rossi. Aston Martin in P7.
that lapped Porsche is still there. So clearly that Porsche has some speed in it.
Yes,
but
I don't think he wants to unlap himself at the moment. Unlapping yourself, you need to be careful, of course. You are not actually racing the guy ahead.
A risky move.
And the guy ahead that has lapped you does not have to let you past. It's only if you are being lapped yourself then you need to let someone pass. Looks like Felipe here is still behind Moscardini. Gap has opened up a bit, which is curious to see.
Yeah, Moscardini, he's been a bit better in the center of the corner, off the exit of the corner, so he was able to take advantage of that. Although that Ferrari is really quick in the braking zones, as we're going to see here. Just can't get it down like the Porsche can. I think that's been the difference.
Yeah, I think the Porsche just they both feel equally strong at the moment. Looks like they are equally strong.
Although Felipe gains quite a bit through the Schumacher S. And now he's looking.
There he goes.
He goes to the inside. He's going to try to take it.
He did not have enough overlap to make the overtake stick.
Can't make it work. just yet, but he has another big braking zone in the chicane coming up. He's
That is a
not
very
gonna.
dangerous overtaking move though, and around the outside will not work, so Felipe has to tuck him behind, and he does so. Moscardini though, defending, so he's out of shape. Moscardini is not able to, Felipe I mean, is not able to make the overtake stick just now.
A bit of a switch in that corner too.
Moscardini going defensive already for turn 1. Can Felipe actually go for it?
He's afraid of that Ferrari brakes of Moscardini.
That
And just
that Porsche
that
gets a
gap.
lot better exits out of the final corners, so it looks like Felipe is not able to get alongside towards turn 1. But then towards the middle of the lap, Felipe is looking a lot stronger here in the twisty bits. At the front again, Ryan Renoir has actually been able to get past home, and while we were looking at the battle for P9, I believe Holzer has actually gone into the pits, and it looked like he might have retired because he's still in the pits at the moment. That's not what I wanted to see, but it looks like something went wrong with him.
It's very unfortunate. Renoir, therefore, is your leader as he's just getting past the lap to Mercedes. And there's Holm in second, 0.431 seconds behind. And that's not what I want to see if I'm home because Renoir is obviously much faster than I am. Jimmy Holm.
I like his team name, Homing Missile. That's a good one.
Well, he might need to turn into a homing missile before the end of this race if he wants to catch Renoir, because Renoir so far is proving very, very fast. All the rookies have actually. Isa 7, I believe, is the highest returning driver from last season.
I believe so. I believe that is correct. Yeah. Weezer MP7 having a good race so far. Able to definitely that P7 position. Home there is, I think, going to struggle to get closer to Renoir again, because Renoir has proved almost the quickest on in the wet. Felipe has still not been able to get past Moscardini. Moscardini definitely able to position his car on all the right places. Felipe not able to find a way past. Maybe not pushing too hard in the wet here. Doesn't want to make a mistake. Trying to get that position. Chipping away at Moscardini. Showing himself in the Porsche's mirrors. And he'll go for a move when he be able to. So far, that opportunity has not presented itself. They're coming up to the Schumacher S's, and Felipe is quick from there.
And here he goes again. He's able to catch up at least a car length.
Goes for the send again, but
He'll go for it again. He's fully alongside. No contact. He somehow makes it stick. The Porsche gets his corner, almost gets him a little loose. But Felipe gets the position with an impressive move.
that's a textbook move, a send for sure. That was fair. And now he's ahead, and hopefully he'll be able to extend that gap from Moscardini and keep that position.
And I mean, he got that position. He got right alongside, almost as the Porsche committed to that corner. If he had turned in, there would have been contact.
If there would have been contact, that would definitely have been on Felipe, but they were both watching out, and it was a fair move. everything went very well. We have Schelgens trying to catch up to Flamger, but Schelgens is just struggling a little bit, and Flamger is away. A bit further back, and God, is here. Actually has gone past Galley. They were just fighting, and a lot of battles have fizzled out now. But here we have Katan versus Slow.
Or
Katan looking a
17.
bit loose there, trying to gain on Slow there.
And Slow so far, I wouldn't exactly call him slow. He's 17th, a perfectly respectable position, given the fact that we have 32 cars in this field.
Yeah, that's a great track for sure. Great build for sure. But maybe he can still. We're still not even halfway, so we'll see what will happen. Race, of course, but here Katan trying to get that position off of Slow to himself further into the points. I believe the top 20 are do get points.
Meanwhile, Ryan Leach, fast driver from last season, but his day's not shaking out how he wanted it to. He's all the way down in 19th place.
Yes, he's right behind the two guys. Well, actually, there's about 12 seconds between them, so that gap a bit, and maybe get past Katan and Slow. Back further up the
Absolutely.
field, Renoir has been able to open up a gap of about 3 seconds towards home. Feeling looks like he feels very comfortable. Yeah, looking strong in that Mercedes.
Very calm, cool, and collected through these corners.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
he's definitely having a bit of fun there. So, Souza down in 13th. It looks like he is uh, coming up on that Bentley.
On
A gap
Pagaraba,
of,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Pagaraba himself is actually closing in on Carlo D'Orazio in the Lamborghini here. See, they're uh, very close together. There's about 3 seconds in between the three of them. So driving very closely. Catching up to Moscardini, I think. Moscardini has fallen backwards quite a bit from Filippi now that passed.
so the weather itself seems to be holding steady. Um, is that the case? Do you think? Is it actually holding steady? And if so, what's that going to do for strategy?
Yeah, so the rain definitely is holding steady, which actually might be good for the drivers who pitted early, because in the rain you might use just a little bit less fuel, uh, so it might be easier for them to make it towards the end without an extra pit stop. But in theory, everyone has had their pit stop, so they didn't need to pit again. But it might be possible that there are a couple cars who still need to pit. I see that Holzer is actually in the chat at the moment, and he said that he retired because his game was broken. It was dry in his game while everyone else had to deal with wet conditions.
Oh,
And
that's
he says that once he realized it, he decided to retire, and I think that's a very honorable thing to do.
yes, sir.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that you had to pull out earlier, Holzer. But, I would say that that's fair, I guess.
Hmm. It's always good to see. It's always it's an honorable competitor out there on the track. Even if they have to sacrifice their entire race to, uphold their honor, they will.
Yeah, it's a very sportsmanlike, 100%. Yeah,
And that also explains why he managed to run off north of 36 seconds ahead of everyone else.
exactly. Yeah, he was still running dry times while everyone was doing wet times, so it does make sense. And it is a bit of a glitch in the game, so maybe it should be brought up to the attention of the developers, that they can figure it out.
Meanwhile, Tokoroba has,
Durazio looking for Elias there out of the chicane.
yes sir, he's caught right up to Durazio in that nice triple Lambo, the Pyro Lamborghini. Um, he,
You can see that everyone is pulling out to the right here. I believe everyone is cooling their tires. The track still is just damp, not fully wet.
almost gets to Durazio. Just a little bit of a love tap saying, guess what, I'm here, buddy.
This is a battle that is brewing. Has been for a while.
And it might brew still further. Souza closes in his in his opinion. So slightly off the pace, perhaps, but that's going to give us some nice, fun action. Actually, this could be a four-car battle as Zig in the Ferrari. He's going to look to the outside. I don't think that's a wise move. I think I would let Bentley catch cars ahead.
Zeker very close to Souza. He came out of nowhere, I think. I did not see that he was so close behind already, but I think he has some pace. He was almost a second quicker last lap than Souza, so he definitely has some pace, and I might be going for a move soon. So let's keep an eye on that.
Oh, he gets a little bit of a twitch coming out the corner. Mid-engine car being mid-engine, you'd have thought it.
Yeah, those Ferraris are actually looking very good rain right now. You can see another couple cars, another couple Ferraris wrong. Like for instance, Felipe now in P9, and Barnard actually in P5. They're all
It goes
quite strong.
over, almost close enough to have a look, but not quite.
Not just just not close enough.
Nope. Taraggio's definitely stacking them up a little bit.
But as Durazio and Bakaraba here are fighting, the two drivers behind them might close up as well. Bentley here
Exactly.
trying to go around the outside, maybe going for a switchback. Just not able to do it.
So now what was a two-car battle for 10th place has now swiftly turned into a three, maybe four-car battle.
Yes, and they are actually, I believe, catching up to Moscardini in P10 pretty quickly. So these four drivers will be able to fight with Moscardini for that P10 spot. But they do need to work together a little bit to their pace and not fight as much to catch up.
Correction, I meant P11. My bad. It's battle for P11. However, the first two cars in the battle have managed to run away just a little bit. But does he get up to the Schumacher S's? We'll have to see. As the two other cars are side by side.
Oh, that's a scary move through the Schumacher SS, but Siege able to do it. That is some big commitment. Good stuff from Siege here in the 199 Ferrari.
All of it.
Good stuff. Souza though falling back now, back down to 15, and I believe Siege will try and catch up to the other Bentley of Bakaraba. Is still battling with Lamborghini of Durazio. Let's see if Bagaraba is able to get that position now before he gets got up by Zeech there.
If I'm
If I were the Bentley, I would not want to get stuck in that sandwich, attacking while being attacked. It's never something you really want.
if I'm the Ferrari, I want him to get stuck behind that Lambo.
It's apparently it's difficult to follow out of that final corner and get a good exit, so you can go for the overtake into T1. I've not seen anything like that happen yet. Let's take a look towards the front. There, I think there's a battle brewing between P5 and P4. Barnard here closing in on Fach in the Honda. Like might have another battle on our hands here. Barnard almost a quick second quicker last lap than Fach was. That is quite big.
Quite a big gap indeed.
But just too far away for now to go for any moves. Let's switch back to Bakaraba and Zeech. Looks like Zeech has closed the gap and is able to attack Bakaraba, which means that Durazio can breathe easily for a while again. This battle is swinging one way and then back towards another way.
And Durazio is slowly but surely catching Moscardini up doing P10 in the Porsche.
Yeah, Durazio definitely has fallen back over these past laps battling, but I think that Durazio might go quicker than Moscardini. Moscardini definitely still falling backwards. Filippi definitely was quicker when they were battling. And the range still is set to increase over the course of the race, the next 30 minutes. So it does not look like we will have any more dry running. Let's see, Filippi actually has managed to catch up to Weezer and I believe actually pass him. So that went very quickly. Filippi up to P8 now. Yep, very, very well. Actually impressing quite a lot.
As Barnett has almost caught Fach.
Yeah, the gap is about the same. Barnard is looking a bit stronger than Fach, so able to follow. I do really wonder if he's able to catch up.
Oh, Fach goes off!
Fach makes a mistake. And Barnard goes through. That's the second mistake I've seen Fach make. And it lost them position again. So Fach down to P5 and then Barnard up to P4. Very interesting stuff.
So far has had quite a bit of luck. We've got a left Ferrari here to throw a wrench into the battle for P11. Durazio goes through the outside, belly onto the grass, they spin, huge contact!
That's a mistake by Bakaraba, he should not have gone on the grass there. That lap car could have done nothing. That is very, very dramatic here as Zeech is able to just get some free positions because of that crash there. Can he overtake Durazio here though? Now that they are almost fighting for again. I believe it actually was Filippi going slowly in front of them, who's lost a couple positions now. He must have made a mistake somewhere. And now has to fight back past Moscardini again.
Oh.
But he definitely had the pace before. And Souza on the back of Siege again here. Siege also trying to get past Durazio still.
The weather may be cold, but the action on track right now is quite hot.
100%.
Durazio still somehow manages to pulled 11th in that Lamborghini. An admirable job by him.
Yeah, Durazio definitely is doing a good job here in that Lamborghini, which is notoriously not one of the easiest cars to drive in the wet. Neither is, for instance, the Porsche, two places ahead of them. But both drivers, those cars are doing very well to keep their cars pointed the right way and battling away drivers. And Felipe here trying to get past Moscardini again. You would think he has done it once, so should be able to do it his second time.
Yeah, Felipe, as I said earlier, that he's got just the perfect braking setup for that Ferrari. Watch how much he gains going into the chicane if he and we've got a Porsche off into the gravel trap in the pit.
That Porsche went off before and is just trying to stay out of everyone's way. I'm doing a good job, but looked a bit silly.
Yeah.
But I think Felipe here got a good run, and so has Ziche, able to get alongside Durazio.
Finally, someone might get past Durazio.
Will he be able to make the stick around the outside of T1 here? Will he try the cutback? No, he has to stick back behind. And I believe Felipe also has to slot in behind the Porsche again. Two very interesting battles here, but no overtakes happening just yet. Getting Moscardini out of shape. Oh, Moscardini makes a big mistake.
Oh, no! Oh, man, that's not the way I want that battle to go.
That is really unfortunate, yeah. That was Moscardini getting on the AstroTurf there and getting loose and veering off into Felipe. That Felipe could have done not a lot there. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah. And anticlimactic epilogue to their early boxing match.
I don't know what happened to Ziche, but he has also lost the position to Souza again. Maybe Ziche got caught up in that crash with between Moscardini and Felipe.
I've also backed off a little bit just to avoid anything going on and accidentally backed out too much. Who knows? I've certainly done that before a couple of times. More than a couple, in fact.
To be honest, it's quite easy to do something like that. It happens. It's part of racing.
But what we do know is that Ziche has a fast Ferrari and he's able to catch up, somewhat easily catch up to D'Orazio. The question is, does D'Orazio hold on to that position long enough for Ziche to be able to get back to Souza and maybe even D'Orazio?
Yes, there's just half an hour left now, so Ziche will have to get on with it to get those two positions. But easily strong, so it might be possible to get those positions. Sure. Souza lapping an Aston Martin. 86. See where that is actually.
A little bit of damage to the front. A little bit of contact with the Ferrari too. He is driving very dangerous with that Aston. And he rightly punts himself off the corner of the Ferrari.
It was Christian Gali. I think he has a lot of damage. Might be struggling a bit with that. If he has some suspension damage, he will struggle getting that car turned and getting it out of the way.
Probably just bring that car into the pits, and if he can, and try to fix it up maybe.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's trying to get that car into the pits and get it repaired. Moscardini here has fallen back now into the clutches of Schwabe, the Lamborghini.
So that battle between Muscardini and Felipe hasn't ended. It's just changed battlefields now.
That is correct. It does actually look like Felipe has a lot of damage and he's
Oh,
struggling.
uh, Muscardini punched Felipe. The classic chrome horn Felipe has, and he appears to be. Well, he's in the pits. Is he
It
retired?
it looks like Felipe has had enough of it and is gonna call it a day. That is really
Uh,
unfortunate for him and not something we like to see, of course.
I would say that he's probably going to take a little walk over to Muscadini's pit stall after the race and try to get a couple of rounds of boxing in.
I hope we won't see any boxing, but they might want to have a chat. Yeah.
As Muscadini now finds himself once again in the clutches of Schwab. We've got, well, the battle for 11th is certainly heating up.
Yes,
Seeing,
Siege has been able to get past Caesar, so it's a good move from him. Able to get past him. Now he wants to try and get back up to the back of Durazio.
and
See if
he's
he
going to
can
do that in
go and get that again.
got about 28 minutes to do it.
So let's catch back up with Moscardini and Schwab. Right behind Moscardini. And I'm looking at the gaps towards the front and I'm not seeing anyone really close to anyone else. I believe though that Barnard is catching up to Barthel, so we might see a battle brewing soon there for that final podium position. And Barnard actually pulling out a great race, forward very, very decently.
I'm thinking now that I look at it, it uh, it might not have been that Felipe was strong on the brakes. It might have been that Muscardini was weak on the brakes because this Lamborghini is actually doing a fair bit of damage as well. Schwab goes to the outside, thinks about it, doesn't
Yeah.
quite
Oh,
make it.
overtaking to that chicane is incredibly difficult. It can only happen if you're fully alongside already, and then if you brake later and go ahead. Around the outside does definitely not work. So Moscardini knows where to place his car now to keep his position, and he's been doing it quite a while with Felipe before. Able to, looks like he's able to do it with Schwab now. Moscardini doing very well on that portion. Able to keeping Schwab at
Definitely.
bay. He knows where to place all his car. Let's take a look towards the front. Let's catch up with the leader, Ryan Renoir. Now has a gap of about 13 seconds to do. If there is a battle proof be through moment. You can see the Lamborghini here with uh, the Ferrari of Barnard here following very closely. I believe Partes right. Partes not letting me go, of course.
I did very gentlemanly move by everyone.
Okay, let's catch up back with. Let's go towards the back of the field with Simon Bauer and Mick Skelligans here. Bauer actually getting past Skelligans already. Even before they get to the braking zone of the hairpin.
I'll tell you what, after last season, after he won those final two rounds so convincingly, I would have never thought I would have heard the words back of the field and sign next to each other in the same. That's crazy.
I get that for sure, but Bauer here is a is a main driver for what drives the Honda mainly. So going to the McLaren is quite a step. It actually looks like Schalikens is having some trouble because he's having to let the Porsche go as well now. Maybe Schalikens has some damage that we cannot see on stream. Might be that he is now has to pit, which now does not seem to be the case. But he is looking a bit slower than the cars around him. But back further to our up to the field, the battle for P13. Schwab is still right on the back of Moscardini. So this race is definitely action-packed so far. Still 20 minutes to go.
I'll tell you what, I think I feel like Moscardini has to have a little bit of a case of deja vu all over again with this Lamborghini with Schwab right behind him. Because once again, that Lambo's way better into the braking zones, but Moscardini's fast enough off the corner to hold him at bay so far.
Yeah, I completely agree. Moscardini is able to place that car in all the places to defend that position. Schwab is not able to get past. Saw the same thing with Felipe. It took Felipe multitude of laps, multiple laps to even get past Moscardini. He even had to do it twice. Fell back. But Schwab here working away at that Porsche, trying to get past. Yeah, I'm very curious to see if he will be able to get it done. But since they're fighting, Sigurd is able to catch up. So that is very exciting. Maybe this will get into a three-way battle. But it looks like a battle is developing with Schwab's teammate and Barnett. Schwab's teammate Barthel, of course, in P3 at the moment right now. Barnett right behind him. Barnett a bit stronger. And I really wonder if he's able to get that final podium position. Get some good points for the team.
The looks like might be able to. They're catching up to last S, and the Aston smartly pulls off to the side and lets Bartel and Barnett go.
Yes, that is Fredrickson letting them go. It's looking very good actually. This battle is shaping up to be something very interesting.
Indeed it is, and for one of the most important places you can possibly fight for.
Exactly. Gap is closed in to to about 2/10 now, 3/10. Let's see what Barnett can do. Getting close to that Lamborghini will be difficult. This is a track with quite a lot of mid-speed corners, which can be difficult to follow through.
So it seems that obviously the Lambos and the Ferraris are both very good on the braking, but if you're Barnett, what's your strat for dealing with Bartel?
Sorry, can you say that again?
So we've seen that the Lamborghinis and Ferraris are both very good under braking, but if you're Barnett, then what's your strategy for dealing with Bartel right now?
Well, these are not F1 cars, so you can follow a bit closer, and especially since it's raining, you can follow decently close. But to bridge that final 2 to 3/10, it can be incredibly difficult. So especially even at a track like this, you just have to stay in the mirrors of the car ahead and show that you're there and you won't go away, and force that driver ahead of you into a mistake. And that can take a lot of laps before the driver ahead of you make that mistake. So
So mind.
yeah, especially if you don't have a giant pace advantage, it definitely does look like Barnett has a bit of a pace advantage, but maybe not enough to make this overtake easy. So Barnett just has to stick behind, show himself in the mirrors, and force Barthel into a take. And that's the only way to get past, especially on such a medium to high speed track like this. Um, it can be really
And
difficult
then
to overtake. So yeah, um, what do you want to say?
I was just saying, they're not that far behind home, but they've only got 18 minutes, 18 and a half minutes to get to them. I don't think they're going to quite make it up there. But yeah, this is so far an into. I don't know, maybe they are. They just
I
gain 3/10 of a second on home.
I believe that Home made a small mistake at some point and lost some time. What?
Oh! Oh, there goes Barthel. He's off. Taken out by that Porsche who momentarily lost control of his car, and that's that battle over in
That
another
is
climax.
that is a big moment. Big mistake from that lap car there, and Barthel losing positions, losing out to Rossi in the Aston Martin, I believe. That is really unfortunate, and I did not see fully what happened, but that did not look that good. Luckily for Barthel, though, he'd been able to create quite a big gap to most of the field, so he only lost 2 positions. Still, that is not what you like to see. Barnett, though, now up to P3, and so I guess he'll be happy with that final podium position.
Absolutely. So, I mean, there's quite a big gap to home. You think he's just going to settle in?
I'm unsure if Barnett will be able to catch up to Home. Home has been looking quite quickly at McLaren. But we will see. Maybe Barnett can catch up. Still plenty of time to go.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
here at
What
the moment
happened?
we have a battle between Fredericks and Partez, and Flamker's also catching up.
I
Uh,
definitely.
Fredrickson and
What
Partez I know are friends, good friends, and they might have a good battle if Partez can get a good answer.
My apologies for jumping on you there. But yeah, I definitely think what happened with that last Porsche um, was might have just gotten a little bit of curve and just gotten a little loose. Was it got himself into a tank slapper and accidentally wound up taking out Martel. Rather unfortunate again, but that's what happens.
Yeah, it looks like that is what happened, and that's a mistake for sure, but it can happen, and it probably will be looked at by the stewards at the end of this race. But still, mistakes can happen. It's all part of the sport. So at the moment, I'm not seeing a lot of close battles. Um, I am seeing Sigurd close to Carlo De Razio. So let's go check up on that battle.
Figure goes outside, almost takes it too deep into the corner and just can't quite make that move work.
Yeah, Sigurd not close enough to go for that for a move just yet. He is definitely very close in that Lexus there. Might go for a lunge here, but oh, he's not strong enough on the brakes. So Durazio is able to stay ahead there. Durazio also has been looking like a strong defensive driver this race. Not
Mhm.
really attacking, but defending very well so far. Sigurd actually going for that move almost into that into the chicane. And Durazio having to cut and he got loose there. How he still is ahead of Sigurd is a miracle. That's some good driving from Durazio there. Good car control. Trying to take it around the outside. Will he go for the cutback? He can just not make that stick. Looks like the cutback here in turn 1 and the wet is not doesn't work that well. He will launch it up the inside here.
And he's right at Durazio's corner. But again, Durazio has proven to be quite effective at defending.
It looks like he knows where to place that car and where to defend, where not to defend. But Sigurd looks like he can stay very close and putting up quite an attack. But meanwhile, a bit further up the field for P8, Siege here is fighting with Weezer. This battle is even closer than the other one.
Yes, sir. Just 12 and a half minutes. And the action on track has been white hot again all day, but it's definitely heating up a little bit here. That chicane is so careless to try to pass through. But
I've done it once. It did not go very well. I did have some contact then got a penalty for it, but it's possible, but you have to be really careful. Siege here though got a better exit than Weezer and is able to get along ahead already before the braking zone into T1. So that is P8 done and dusted for the 199 Ferrari there.
so far, but life is no slouch. If he can strike back, he will. Three-way battle for
Something has happened here because Mascardini was behind these two, but is now ahead. And it's a three-way battle at the moment. Ryan Leach, Durazio, and Sigurd. Sigurd going around the outside.
Looks like he might turn into a four, maybe even a five-way battle here before the race is out. As
he makes it. Sigurd makes it stick. What a move! Around the outside of turn 1. That's a great move. And but I don't think Durazio is done with defending because there are multiple cars behind them, and so is the leader actually coming to lap them.
Oh, and in the background we've got a lazy spin from a Mercedes. I believe
that's probably a small mistake on traction again, but here that's really unfortunate.
Durazio gets a little bit sideways. Sigurd, or rather, the Mercedes behind him is the leader is able to catch up a little bit as Durazio lets him go, but in the process exposes himself. Leach gets past Durazio on the curb. Swallow, I believe that is, almost gets by as well. That was almost an accident, and that might just be an accident. Durazio saves it.
Wow!
Unbelievable.
The car control from Durazio is looking very good. It looks like he's struggling on tires maybe a bit now, but able to keep that car away from contact with anyone else. But even though he lost a couple of positions now, that was some a very good car control. But now I believe there's a battle between Slow and Leach, brewing right behind Leach. And of course trying to catch up to Sigurd as well now.
Less than 10 minutes left in the race, so It's now or never if you want to get back.
Looking back further up to the field, I'm seeing that something happened to Jimmy Ulm. Lost a couple of positions. He must have spun at some point. Lost about 20 seconds to Barnard and Rossi. Now in P4.
So that's very interesting. But Barnard's 24 seconds behind still. So I thought we saw a car go off just behind Weezer here. Probably
I don't
not.
think so. But Weezer has lost another position to Souza, so Weezer is struggling a bit, looks like. Weezer falling back, he was P7 about halfway through the race. But still, top 10, good result. With just under 10 minutes to go now. And Ziege actually is behind Marcel again, Weezer. And has to make that move again. That's a bit of a recurring theme now for Ziege. He gets past someone and has to re-overtake. So a little bit back in the field in P12. You can see Schwabe is to Pokerova. Yeah, you can see him in the distance there into Schwabe closing up onto the Bentley. Further back in the field, there are not a lot of battles. There's, I believe, one between Iridius Partes and Timothy Flamger. P20.
And of course, 7 minutes left. That's what the overtime it actually is. That's about what, 4 or 5 laps?
Whoa. Flamger trying it around the outside of that of the chicane, and that does not work. As you can see, the two cars behind them have got up significantly now. I believe actually
Yes.
the Aston Martin is a lapping car. I think that's P4.
Yeah, very much a 4-car ball here. Rossi goes to the inside of Barnard, I think that is. No?
Rossi here in the Aston Martin is not in a good position because there are 3 drivers fighting.
Well, the contact, he goes wide.
Contact between Flamger and Fredriksson.
It's unfortunate.
It's just a small tap though. Did not look too bad. Flamger now up to T. And Rossi here trying to lap these drivers, but not really finding a good way past. Back a bit forward in the field. Battle for P5. Cleaver and Barthel. Barthel is dropping back a bit actually, since he was taken out by that back marker. Maybe has a bit of damage, struggling for the pace a bit. Not going for him just yet. But Barthel does run very wide there. Maybe Cleaver can get a better exit and go for that overtake.
And he caught up just a little bit through the Michael Schumacher S. He goes to the inside. He's got the line. Maybe some slight contact there. I thought I saw some slight contact, but Cleaver does indeed get the position.
A little bit of rubbing, fair enough.
Top 5.
That's it. That is a good move from Cleaver there, up into P5. That was a great move and looked all very clean. Park here in P7. Like he's struggling a bit with that Honda in this weather, which actually is still getting worse and worse. It's like a real autumn weather.
Hmm. For sure.
So Barthel right behind Cleaver. Close that position back in, close that gap back up, get his position back. Looks like Cleaver is quick enough at the moment.
Who knows? It's all a psychological game if you can get close enough. As Schwabe has been pushed off the road by Pokaroba.
Schwab trying it around the outside there of Bakaraba, not working out. It's a bunch of time.
That's rather unfortunate, and he has only 3 minutes, just shy of 3.5 minutes left to get that position back.
Definitely still possible for Schwab to get that position, but not easy for him. Right now, Sigurd is still trying to get past Moscardini here. So Moscardini has to put up his defenses once more.
And
as we've seen before, he's able to do that very well.
2 more laps left here at the Nürburgring as well. So, once again, now or never.
Exactly, not a lot of time left. Also a battle with Weezer and Siege. About half a second in between them. Siege is looking strong. Go for that overtake. Now Weezer is able to stay ahead in the braking zone there. Able to cling onto that P9 position.
Siege has been brave overtaking here today, but can he be brave and skilled enough to get past Weezer?
Let's see what will happen. I believe Siege will be lit off if he can be close enough again. Let's drop back just a little now.
And this is the battle for P9, a pretty important position. And obviously the higher up you can finish in the first race, the more momentum you can carry throughout the rest of the season. That's the idea, at least, of the final lap for these guys. Renoir is well and truly out in front of Barnott and Rossi. And I would say that for him, it's just a matter of bringing that baby home.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
You can hear it. The leader is on the final lap. Just crossed the line in going into turn 1 moment. That means that everyone crosses the line after Renoir has crossed the line. Hasn't finished the race. So Siege here still working away at
We're on the
Weezer,
outside!
making a
The
beautiful
outside.
move here. Very well executed. But Weezer is not having it and is going to try a fight back around the outside of the airpin.
He can't quite make it work.
Now around the outside it's just a bit too difficult. It has to slot in behind. That's a great move from Siege there to get into P9. And Pakaraba has now was just passed by Schwabe, but has been able to get that position back. Schwabe still to get that position done.
Through the Michael Schumacher S, they come. And it's Moscardini behind Schwabe. He's fast enough to pass him, but can't get there in time.
I believe these drivers actually have to do one more lap, but I'm not 100% sure.
Ziege and Weiser, though. Ziege has managed to lose Weiser by about 0.7 of a second. So that's quite a big gap.
Siege definitely has the pace. as Schwab there makes a mistake and goes in deep. Will that give him a good exit out of the final corner? It does look so.
Do they have one more lap? I don't believe they do they? Yes, they're still going at it. So this is the final lap for this battle. Tokoroba in the Bentley, Schwaba in the Lamborghini. Schwaba very good on brakes.
So
In
the
the,
leader
in,
leader has just finished the race. There he is. Ryan Renoir in P1. And then quickly back to the battle for P11.
fantastic drive from Renoir in P1. Walked off with this one. Truly well done there. But Schwaba and Tokoroba now a little bit of a beef after Tokoroba puts Schwaba off the track. Love to see that. Schwaba has a look, but can't quite
It's just too far
make it
back.
work. It's too far back.
At the moment though, Barnett has finished in P2. Rossi in the Aston Martin has finished P3. P4 is for home. And then Cleve come around the final quarter to P5. Barthel is P6. And back to that battle for P11 because Schwab is still working working away at that P11 position.
So nothing yet, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it done. The chicane is up next, and that there's only really one car width of room here. Tokoroba might be able to hold on, but Straba can have one final strike. No, he cannot.
I don't think he can get a good enough exit to get that position, so these two will be the last to finish. And here they come, Bakuraba, MP11, and then Schwab MP12.
Well done to hold off Tokoroba.
So that was a very exciting race.
Tokoroba. Absolutely. That was intense. That was as intense as we thought it was going to be, I would say.
Well, with a field that big, that was pretty much the intensity I was hoping for. That was a great race, a lot of battles, and I hope everyone who raced here has enjoyed it very much, and everyone who's watching has enjoyed it.
Absolutely, just as much as we enjoy bringing it to you and watching all these insane battles throughout the race.
Exactly. Yes. Um. So I'm gonna thank you everyone for watching. The next round will let me just go and check for a second. We'll be at Monza in 2 weeks on the 10th of October. And we hope now have a good night from us and see you next race.